we're gonna get started.
Hi everyone, this is Just a Digital Podcast and it's my 22nd episode, and today we're having a very special episode with my friends, who is...
Hi everyone, I'm Astrid.
And...
Hello, I'm Jen. I just figured out how to put the earphones on. Okay, that makes so much more sense.
Okay. Oh my god, I'm so excited. It's my first time to record my podcast in the studio.
Ooh, professional.
I've always recorded in a very small apartment at home with my iPhone speaker, and that was it. But because I have my wonderful friends here, I wanted to treat them with the luxury.
It does
feels
feel
very professional.
It
It's very
does.
nice.
It really.
Okay, so the reason I really wanted to make this episode is because my great, amazing friend Astrid came to Korea. Woo! For the very first time.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
And I already have this podcast, and every time I talk to Astrid and Jean, I always felt like this conversation should be recorded. I always felt that. They are amazing speakers. They are, I don't know, like, it's something that a lot of Koreans are lacking, is that not many Koreans, okay, I can say this because I'm Korean.
Okay, go for it.
I know this, I'm Korean, but Koreans are not really good at articulating their opinions and being straightforward.
That's fair though, considering
Yeah,
the
I mean,
education system.
I'm gonna ask for like a basic information about Jean and Astrid to them, but just as you know, Jean's been living in Korea for...
It's been like a year and a half, but like it's separated in 2 periods.
Yeah, so she knows about Korea more than me, honestly. I can't deny that. So yeah, so I was like, those 2 people are the most wonderful people I met, and they are amazing speakers, so this conversation should be recorded while Astrid's here, like all 3 of us.
Yeah, this is a convergence of path.
Absolutely.
We don't know when it will happen again.
Yeah,
Exactly. The stars have aligned.
So, okay, so if you've been listening to my podcast, I'm Yansu, you'll know who I am, but there are amazing 2 guests here, so I want to ask you guys a basic information about yourself, and maybe Astrid?
Wow, no pressure.
What do you want to know?
What's your
Yeah,
name?
I mean,
like,
So, hi, my name is Astrid. I am half French, half Indonesian, though I now only have a French passport. So I usually just say I'm French, but I'm mixed ethnicity. I've lived in a lot of places, I would say mostly in Asia and Europe, and I've studied as well across these continents, and currently I'm working in Singapore as an ESG analyst.
Ooh.
So that's in sustainability. Yeah. There. I
I
think that's a good
That's
quick
quite
brief.
a bio
Okay.
already.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it
know.
sounds very, very professional. Hello everyone, my name is Jaan. My Korean name is Hyunsol, Han Hyunsol, because I realized it was easier to just have one. I am also French. I went to high school with Astrid. I did my BA in Estonia. I came to Korea for an exchange for 10 months during my BA, and now I'm doing a master's of Korean culture studies at the Academy of Korean Studies.
Wow. As you can hear, guys, like, these 2 women are just professionals. They're just professionals in podcasts. I'm quite embarrassed, actually. Like, oh my god, I'm the one who started, but I feel like
Yeah.
everyone's sounds so professional. So the reason I know Astrid, so from the beginning, is that we met in a Akamonkai Nihongo Gakko, Japanese language
That's right.
school,
In Tokyo.
and because Astrid is a mutual friend, so I know Astrid, and Astrid knows Jean because they went to the same school. So since Jean is in South Korea, she kindly introduced Jean to me. So we became friends, and like all of us became friends. So we are hanging while Astrid's here, like all together. So
Might I just say how wonderful that is, by the way? Because it's literally, I was talking to like both of you, I think the same week. I called both of you the same week, and then it's like a light bulb went up. Like in my
You
head, and I was
connected
like,
the dots.
wait a minute, what, like both extroverts, I think they would get along really well. So I was like, what if, do you want each other's contacts? I just gave it. I was just like the middle person, and you guys met up, and it was like so nice to see.
It was
like,
a
we're-
cold vibe.
Instantly
Yeah,
vibed,
you did.
honestly. So okay, we can talk for hours and hours, but since there's a limited time,
Yeah.
Yes.
so there's got to be a topic to talk about.
Yes.
And what I've figured out is, so there's a common thing that kind of connects all three of us, is that we came from kind of a multicultural background. And with Astrid and Jean, we've always talked about like various cultures and each other experiences from various countries. So as a Korean person, I thought it was something that is kind of difficult to find to talk about, because Korea is a very homogeneous country, and talking about this kind of stuff is something that is kind of lacking in this society if you were born and raised in Korea. So I just wanted to openly talk about it and share your guys' experiences while you've been living in Estonia for Jean, and a lot of countries for Astrid. And was for. Is there any other countries that you lived, like, except Estonia and Korea?
I lived in the UK for a little bit.
Okay,
and I did,
again, professionals.
No, if it counts as living, but I was in the US with a host family.
Oh my God.
A bit.
Okay, all right. Well, first of all, I wanted to ask this question first. How many languages can you speak for both of you? I know it's a complex question,
I've perfected
but
my
we really
answer
have
because I
to
messed
talk
up too
about
many
it.
times.
So
Okay,
I want to ask Astrid first.
I feel like so inadequate. Why? Because you both are pros at this.
Nah.
This is the nub. It's like no.
No.
So personally, I like to say that I'm bilingual in French and in English. But technically, my mother tongue is Mandarin Chinese. Even though
which you do speak,
I-
and we have like
it's
evidence of that
conversational.
for last week.
Yeah, it's conversational, but I'm lacking a bit in some vocabulary, which is normal because I left China when I was almost 11. I've only been back once since, so I haven't been able to speak it so much, but very conversational. I can understand what's happening. I can hold a conversation. So that's like 2.5. I mean, I technically went to Japanese school with Hyunsu for 6 months. But unfortunately, my Japanese is also quite rusty, so I would count that as like very basic level, similar to my Indonesian, my bahasa. It's also like kind of at the I can understand level, and then Spanish maybe a bit lower. So I would say 3 comfortably, and a few more here and there whenever I feel like it.
That's fair.
So English, French,
Mandarin,
Chinese, Mandarin. And a bit of Japanese and
Japanese,
Spanish.
Yeah, and Indonesian.
Indonesian. Oh
yeah,
my
from my
God,
mom's side.
That's 6?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's 2 and several halves and quarters of languages.
I felt that though.
Okay. Actually, the reason I'm asking you guys this is because there are, even though this podcast is a very tiny podcast, there are listeners from all around the world, honestly.
Wow, wonderful.
Exactly. Yeah. And I was wondering if you can like say hello to each languages, because there are definitely French listeners. There were French listeners. There were Indonesian listeners as well.
Oh my gosh. That's
And also Chinese, of course. I've also got a private email from a Singaporean
amazing
listener. So I thought it would be really nice, because I can't speak any of those languages and I felt really sad about it. So maybe you can say hi to them.
I mean, I can definitely try to go for it. Bonjour tout le monde. Enchanté. I guess that's a bit of French. I'll just go quickly. I mean, you've heard my English. In Chinese, 大家好，我中文名字是林月诗。Hello. Spanish, hola, hola chicos. Best I can do. I can understand more than that, but and my Japanese, I'm almost scared to say it because Hyunsu is basically fluent in Japanese. But konnichiwa, ohayo.
Yeah. Okay.
And I mean, and yeah, Indonesian has a lot of actually like English words. So
is there?
Yeah, that they throw in here and there. I know a lot of words about food, I guess. Like I know how to say
very
like
important.
I'm hungry, I want to eat. But my pronunciation's pretty bad, unfortunately. So maybe we'll skip over that one. We could always come back to it later.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Mrs.
So I'm asked this question almost every week.
I'm so sorry. such an obvious question.
No, I like to say I speak 3, French and English, but I'll be honest, for me, speaking 100% in French in a conversation now is more of a hassle.
Really?
Yeah, it's pain in the ass for me now.
Do you agree, Astrid? Like, what about you?
Actually, since I started working, so because it's a French company, I've actually been working with French speakers. This is actually the best my French has been in many years because I'm practicing it. But similarly to Jen, I do switch a lot, what we call like Franglish, switch with the words.
Like in our group of friends, we always do franglais. So it's kind of like, it's very natural when you can do both, but when you're blocked because the other person doesn't speak English, it's happened to me. Like my French also got better because last year I was in France for 8 months, which I hadn't been for like several years. So my French got a lot better. But my dad, last time I was on the phone with him, and he was laughing. He was like, "You're starting to talk like a foreigner." Like,
Did you say that too?
Yeah, because it was kind of like, because I hesitate on some words because I'm like, I have them in a different language. So yeah, that's a bit annoying. I technically would still like to put German as my number 3 because I did German from like 6e, so first year of middle school, until like end of high school. And I still like German. My phone is in German because I got used to it and I don't want to change it.
Right
Yeah.
now?
I can I've lost most of my speaking, obviously, because I haven't had German like lessons since terminale. But I remember when I still had Netflix, I would watch like animated films in German, and I'd understand like, I don't know, 80%.
But that's still pretty high.
Yeah, but I mean, also animated films are good for practice for that reason. But yeah, so I still can understand kind of like basic German. I had B1 in high school, but high school was a long time ago. So, so I can still kind of grasp the gist of it. But yeah, but I wouldn't say I'm fluent. I speak better Korean than German. I don't have a topic level yet, but that's something that should be remedied in July to my ultimate stress. But and then the other languages, I do not say that I can speak them, because if I'm going to brag about something, I like to have the evidence to back it up. So I am interested in Japanese and Chinese. Unfortunately, I've never been able to learn Japanese in a class, because they did have classes at TLU, but it was in Estonian, which is a bit too difficult for me. I do think that if I got classes, I could probably get like A2 fairly easily, because my listening is pretty good. I mean, I understand most of what you say when you're on the phone with your boyfriend. Privacy, sorry. But and then Chinese, well, I thought that my listening was as low as my speaking, because I've only done 1 semester. But last week when we were at the tea house, the owner actually didn't speak English. Well, she can understand English, but she doesn't really speak it. And Astrid doesn't speak Korean, but they both speak Chinese. So we ended up, like, they ended up talking in Chinese, and then I was sitting there, and I was very confused, because I was like, there are no subtitles, but I can understand what's going on.
Okay.
So my Chinese listening is better than I thought. Yeah, and then what I do? Yeah, I had A2 in Estonian, technically, because we had to pass it for my BA.
All right.
So I still remember some, like, basic vocabulary and stuff. But, I mean, when I was doing the A2 class, I could kind of understand when my friends were talking, like, simple conversations around me. But as always, the speaking is very difficult. And also, Estonian grammar, Jesus Christ.
May I ask, what's the origin of Estonian? What's the etymology?
It's shared the same, like, language family as Finnish. Because people are always a little confused about, like, what it's related to. But if you know German, which I do, it was very useful. Because, for instance, the word for cinema is in German is Kino, and in Estonian it's also Kino. Or, like, you've got in Estonian, the word for, like, pharmacy is Aptek. But in German, you know, it's like Apotheke.
Wait,
terrible pronunciation as well. So there is like some of my German friends in Estonia were like, Estonian sounds like German, but you just write it the way it sounds.
Okay.
So Finnish students are very good. One time I saw a Finnish film and they had subtitles in Finnish and in Estonian, and I was like, what? Like, no, they had subtitles in Finnish and in English, but no, in Estonian and in English, sorry. And the film was in Finnish. And I was like, why do you need the Estonian subtitles? It basically sounds the exact same.
So I guess it's like similar to the relationship with the Spanish and Portuguese, maybe. Finnish and Estonian.
I guess.
Is it that close?
I mean, it is pretty close, but Yeah, I think they're one of the few in that language family. There are not really others. And obviously Russian is very spoken in Estonia, but it's not the national language. And we had a discussion in my Estonian society class why it could never be, for many reasons. But a lot of, especially recently because of the current, social political context, a lot of students who do Russian studies end up in Tallinn because it's a really good place to practice Russian when you can't go to Russia.
Right.
Right.
And I think that's it.
Okay. Wow. I asked one question.
See, this is we can be here all day.
We can talk about it all day, honestly. And I also wanted to ask. I also asked this question to Astrid as well, a long time ago. And which language do you feel most comfortable?
English.
English.
Yeah.
Really.
I write in English. If I had to do an MA in French, it would suck the life out of me. I could not do that.
Which I found it really interesting when I first met Astrid. I was like, I'd never been to Europe since I was 18. So when I met Astrid 3 years ago already, I hadn't been to Europe for 7-8 years already at that time. So I was not really used to the kind of multicultural background people. So I wasn't used to that kind of background knowledge. So I was quite confused, honestly. So she's French, but she sounds super American.
It's more the exception than both Jen and I.
We went to an international school. We're very much not the regular French experience.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was really, really interesting and fascinating to get to know Astrid and also Jen as well. And I've been wondering, what was life like for both of you? Going to international school. For Astrid, you're half Indonesian, half French, and Jean have a lot of experiences from many countries. So I wanted to ask you guys opinions and experiences, because it's quite unique even in France.
Be fair, when I was in high school, a lot of my specifically Asia oriented interest started way after high school. Or started in high school.
Really?
Astrid is responsible.
Okay,
it's highly responsible for why I'm here.
Oh my god!
She got me into K-pop.
Oh my god!
Oh my goodness!
Who was the first person that you kind of felt she's hot?
Okay,
she's
no.
hot.
Here, listen.
Okay, I'm waiting.
The thing is, if you met me in I don't know, first year of high school, I was like, oh no, I don't watch anime, I don't listen to K-pop, I don't care about that stuff.
That's true.
So
that's insane.
That's insane. I can't
Turntables,
imagine.
right? But no, the funniest bit is that when I started learning the alphabet, Astrid knew more Korean than me.
Huh?
Just the alphabet. I had learned the alphabet at that point.
Okay.
But this was what
it was a
many,
long time
many
ago.
years ago.
But it's funny because as she saw me go for it, she was like, I created a monster. But
she started knowing so much more so quickly. I was like, well, the student has way surpassed the teacher already. It was impressive to see how much content you were taking in.
Yeah, I mean, I think the CSI was really great because we did have a lot of international people from different countries, because it was not just the Anglophone section. We had there was Spanish, Italian, Polish, German.
Technically it was a French school.
Yeah.
It's technically a French school. It's not the same as international schools. It's a French school with international section. So we all take the French baccalaureate. That's the end of high school exam. Jan and I, if you're in the international section, so we were in the Anglophone section.
Specifically American, because if you choose British, it's a different exam. And I signed up for British first because I made a mistake and I was so freaked out. Oh my god! But it was fine. I got it fixed, and I passed the American version.
It was so good. But we take the same exams as all the French kids for the baccalaureate, plus some extra. We take history,
geography, literature.
Yeah, so history, geography, we take it in English instead of French, and then we have an extra, which is language and literature. And this is throughout 2 years, we learn about a lot of books, prose and poetry. And then at the end, the final exam is about all these books and poetry we've read throughout the last 2 years. It's not
written and oral.
Yes.
For, both history, geography, and literature.
Yeah. So that's what we call the OIB option, International Baccalaureate. So that's what we both have, but it's still primarily, our education was still mostly in French. We just had extra hours in English.
But
pretty much.
the atmosphere of the school, though.
Yeah, so
is
there was a
very
lot of
different.
international
And
kids.
Right.
Even within the school, like, because I had a friend who was not in any section, and he was like, I'm not gonna name, but but like, for instance, he told me that like there was a clear vibe difference because like the international kids stayed together, and then kids who were just like assigned to the school because that was their school in their area, like there was kind of a divide. But I think in general, like, it was really good, and like I feel like French people are not the bestest.
Yeah. No, but what you mentioned, this kind of slight separation, I definitely feel like I experienced it. Because indeed, like, French people tend to speak French in between them, but when you're like an international kid, you grew up in an international environment. Being French is not your sole identity. Something like that.
Worth pointing out here is that so Astrid is the regular case for Anglophone section students. I am not.
Okay, tell me about
Because
it.
I don't have a Anglophone background at all.
Exactly, I was wondering. Like, Astrid, understandable, because I know that your family's main language is English. So it's very natural for her to be fluent in English. But what about Jean? Like,
and actually, it's quite unusual for them to take kids who don't have like an Anglophone background, because usually they just don't have the level. But in our year, it was Charlie, Esther, and I, like 3 of us got in. And it's just because I guess we slayed the interview and we had the right level.
Skill. Like, that's it. It's a question of skill, and they made the cut because they had made effort into learning English. So it's rare. But there are some French students who get into the Anglophone section.
But it's really like 1 on 10, I would say.
Yeah, it's very rare. Yeah.
So are you the only family member in your family that can speak fluent English?
Yeah, my parents, like, mainly get it. I mean, they both lived in the US at one point when they were younger.
Oh, okay.
My brother also speaks it. But, yeah. I mean, I feel like it creates a difference because like my dad's not going to try to speak to me in English unless he's making a joke. But my mom sometimes, like, because my mom obviously speaks better English than most French people because the bar is pretty low. Hey, it's the truth. It's the truth. Maybe it is changing. I think newer generation are much better at English and much more, just because they're more interested in learning English, first of all. But I do notice that, for instance, sometimes my mom like could say something to me in French, but she's just gonna say it, and she does have an accent, not the same one as me. It's not the French accent, but it's still kind of like there's an accent. But like sometimes she's just gonna. You didn't see me, but I was making like Italian angry person like hand gesture because my mom every time we do, she's like, "Oh, Italian girl, slow down." But yeah, like, and I sometimes she's gonna say stuff in English just to say it in English, and I know it shouldn't, but for some, like, it frustrates me. Because I'm like, you don't have to say it in English. But like, for me, it's frustrating because sometimes I literally block. Like, French is not natural for me anymore.
I think it's like a lot of languages. No matter how like much of a native speaker you are, the moment you start, you stop practicing it like at all. You're not in the environment. You don't have any friends who speak it with you. It actually, you lose it faster than you might imagine. Which is why, because we haven't had enough Hyunsu praise up until now. But the fact that you only lived, like 2 years in the UK, and your English is so fluent. Yeah. I've never heard of anyone who has been able to do that. Like, I left China so long ago at 11, and I spent my whole childhood there. And my Chinese is still kind of rusty. But your English is phenomenal.
I would have thought you did, like, I don't know, like 6-7 years in the UK.
And it was when you were, like, 13, right? 14. So long ago. So I think that's way more impressive,
Thank you so much. This is so embarrassing. No. But, like, still, I would never say English is a comfortable language for me. I still struggle. And I know it's going to be, even though I will try as much as I can, I know I'm going to sound very foreigner to somebody else. And
I think your accent is very unique. Like, you definitely don't have the Korean accent.
No, honestly, you sound pretty British.
But very British, actually. But I do have a question, is like, because, you know, when you speak a different language, I feel like you have a different personality or persona that comes with it.
I really want to talk about this. I really want to talk about it.
I'm kind of curious about what it's like for you from, you know, moving from, like, Korean to English or, like, Korean to Japanese.
Well, I definitely feel 100% me when I'm speaking in Jeju dialect.
Oh, a dialect.
In a dialect.
Wow.
It has to be a dialect. because I still kind of stop myself from not speaking Jeju dialect, from spitting out.
How different is it from the mainstream?
Do you know about the knowledge about the...
Not so much.
Oh, okay.
Well, dialect in general, like I vaguely know. I know when I started learning Korean, I could not. I was like, they're talking differently. I can't hear anything. I can sort of pick it up right now, but I haven't really heard Jeju dialect. So.
Oh, okay. I can't compare it. Like, let's say in France, there are loads of regions in France. It's a big country compared to South Korea.
Oh, is it like accent Marseillais from Korea? That would be funny.
Yeah, it's something like that. I wanted to like ask if there's any French dialect that even French people can't really understand. Because
like in the north.
Bad?
Is it?
I don't think it's that. For me, it's like the Québécois accent.
But that's not French.
It's not. We agree it's not French.
Like, I'm sorry to any Québécois out there.
I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. I meant speaking French, because France is not the only country that speaks French.
Exactly.
That we know.
I wanted to ask that.
But there are some accents. I think in mainland France, it's not that crazy of like a jump.
It's mainly like pronunciation or like specific like local words.
Yeah.
But it's still fairly understandable. But I will say, when I was in Canada in the plane, the pilot,
the Quebec.
Yeah. He like explained the guidelines in French, and we were a group full of French people, and we all sat there like, what? And then he said it in English, and I went, oh, okay.
Like, for example, I can't really fully understand the difference because I'm not French. Yeah. How different is it?
It sounds very different. Like Is
it like North Korean speaking Korean?
It sounds like American speaking French with an American accent. Like, for lack of better understanding, I've not heard that much like Quebecan French. When I do, their R's kind of sound different.
Okay.
I can still, I just need to concentrate. I need to like lock in completely, and then I'll understand what they're saying. But they also use very different slang.
Yeah.
And they throw in English words from what I understand. But in French, we don't really throw in.
Or even between like with Belgium, or like, because I don't know, because I think they do it with like Canada as well. But I think it was one day like Simon or someone who was like 90, and I went, get out of here.
Why?
Stop.
Why?
No, okay.
What's wrong with it?
In French, we say, c'est 99, on est d'accord?
Yes.
99, like 1999.
Yeah.
But I think it's in Canada and in Belgium, but don't quote me on that. And they say 90. Yes. And it's like it's a clear marker of like you're not speaking like metropolitan French. But he said that, and I was like, get out! I will disown you. Like,
but maybe unpopular opinion, but 90 makes a whole lot more sense than 90.
Isn't it how Swiss French people count as well? I remember.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's the Belgians or the Swiss. I'm so sorry for anyone
it's
listening
that
to
side
this.
of the
But some say 90, some say as well 70 instead of 70. And I petition we should do that in French.
No, it just sounds wrong.
She disagrees. She strongly disagrees.
Come on.
I don't want to do
now
math.
You can't do this. We've got a standard to uphold here. We're pissy about language until the end. That is what the French do.
That's very true.
So back to the context.
Yeah, persona. Let's go.
So I think I'm 100% myself when I'm speaking only dialects, because it's something that kind of brings out my childhood me, the real me, like without any like background, information about me. There's nothing to do with me living in the UK, me living in Japan. So it's just 100% pure me when I'm speaking Jeju dialect. And now there are less and less people I can speak in Jeju dialect right now, because there's only my family and very few of my friends who are still living in Jeju. It is kind of a problem right now in Jeju that the dialect is kind of disappearing. So, 100% by me, Jeju dialect. And, Korean next is also very comfortable language for me, the most comfortable language. And with English, I think I'm very more opinionated when I speak in English. Because, that's why I think I started this podcast, because I can say more clearly and very honestly about my opinion in English rather than in Korean. So, I think I'm more direct and more straightforward in English. And in Japanese, I think I'm a very kind person when I speak in Japanese.
You sound very sweet. That's
you do.
Yeah. Because I think there is a stereotype that Japanese people are not very, don't know, they don't really get angry.
Confrontational?
Something like that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's really hard to see an angry Japanese, like genuinely angry Japanese, at least on the screen.
Everyone's very polite.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You never know what they're thinking, kind of.
On the surface.
On the surface. Like, you never know until you kind of became a really close friend. That's, again, there could be controversies, but that's what I thought while living in Japan for 1 year. So I barely got angry when I'm speaking Japanese.
Oh, wow. You find yourself?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I felt.
Do you think it's also something in the words? Because, say, like, in English, there's so much, like, swearing. Like, I actually swear a lot in English. But maybe in Japanese, people might not swear as much.
I will say it's kind of similar with Korean.
Oh, yeah?
Just in the case that, like, I feel like we French people swear a lot more. We've got a lot of swearing. Like,
I wanted to ask that.
Like, if I'm pissed... Like, I swear, like, really easily in English, but if I'm really pissed off, the French is coming out.
Really?
Yeah, like, if I'm losing in a video game and I start swearing in French, you know the shit is about to hit the fan.
And I have a question, though. Like, Jean, you know both French and Korean. Which country has the most swear words?
I feel like the surface-level swear words in Korea, there's not a lot. But I feel like if you go into, like, dialogue, local expression, stuff like that, there's going to be a lot more. But, like, obviously, I don't know them.
Yeah.
But if you look at, like, in general, when I hear people swearing, there's, like, 3-4 that kind of come back all the time, which I'm not going to say. Which I've been told I've got great pronunciation on them. But... and every time my friend is shocked, it's like, wow! And I'm like, perfect. If you're a foreigner and you listen to K-drama, like you watch K-drama, this is what you're gonna hear. But like I feel like in French we're also very creative with them. And we just like, and we let them out because I feel like that's a culture thing as well. Like French people, we love to complain. We're very opinionated. We're very like, oh, you're bothering me. Like get the fuck out of the way. Like that's we're not gonna shy away from it. But even in Korea, you know, like you've got the swear word, but usually you go, you don't even finish it.
Right.
Like in Korea, in France, we're just gonna go like full on, like God, on the street, on the road, God. Okay, I have like the personal background for this as well because there's someone in my family who, if you know me, you know exactly who it is. Kind of road rages. But yeah, no, it's just kind of like it's very like the amount of fingers, like middle fingers flying off in the street in France is just intense. So it's kind of like Korea. Another thing is just like, you know, because in Korea you got aegyo and stuff like that.
Oh, that's not a thing.
And yeah, first of all, we don't have that. And first of all, I got here and I was like, oh, you know, I'm not going to do that. Like, it's just, it gets to you regardless of whether you want it. And I catch myself sometimes, because especially when you're in a situation where you're like in a restaurant or whatever, and you say like, you'll say hello or thank you, and your voice is just going to go up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why am I doing this? Because that's not like, that's really not my personality. And even if people who have heard me talk for like half an hour, that's pretty clear. But it's just like, you can't help it. And even in like, well, in writing, I feel like it's not as bad because it helps you soften the tone, especially when you're not necessarily we don't have that much vocabulary to fluctuate with to indicate like, you know, how close you are to the person. But I remember sometime like it just happens automatically and I'm like, who am I? Because I'm not the kind to say, yeah, but I do.
But personality, I think, depends a lot on the environment.
Or it does.
If you're surrounded by very polite, very demure people, you're going to be like, I feel bad speaking loudly in public because everyone is so quiet. And I feel that adaptation like immediately, especially the difference between like Europe and Korea. Like honestly, when I came here, I was like, everyone is so quiet.
Unless you get like that one Ajuma or I just see on the phone who's just like yelling.
It happens. But it's so quiet on the bus. Even in Singapore, it is not this quiet. Guys.
Really? Because because I'm kind of so. I went to Japan a few weeks ago, and I was again so shocked again about how quiet it is in the train. I felt am I in a library? That level.
It feels like I can't even sneeze here
exactly.
right now.
So after experiencing Japanese train, after I came back to Korea, I just felt like Korea's train is so loud.
Really? Well, everything
and
is
the
relative.
fact that you said that it's even louder than Singaporean train, it's kind of shocking. I thought...
And Singapore is not that loud, I would say. But it's just, is it socially acceptable to, like, speak in public or not? It depends so much on the country.
So you would say Korean trains are quieter than Singapore?
Yeah. The buses,
shocking.
especially, the
Right.
buses are dead quiet. You could hear a pin drop.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, don't say anything.
Yeah,
I'm
the
just
fact that
gonna
everyone
stand
has
here.
different standards.
I
It's
mean, if you
crazy.
live here long enough, you'll realize that like the majority of the time, like 85% is quiet, but there's still people who talk.
Yes.
It's just a matter of like, are you talking loud enough to bother people, or are you like fine?
Yeah. Well, I notice here as well as compared to Singapore, just to go on a quick tangent, but I notice in Singapore, a lot of people are always on their phones, like all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, all the time. Like here in, I can understand in public transport. I see it here in transport as well. But at least here, when we sit down and we have a meal, people are talking to each other. When I'm in Singapore, sometimes I just see like people out on a meal, like for a meal between them. It can be a couple, it can be a few people. So many people just on their phones, like they won't talk. You don't like the conversation.
that's
I've seen that
interesting.
in Korea.
That's
like
interesting.
it's probably not as prevalent as in
Probably
Singapore,
not as
but
prevalent,
it's,
because
it's slightly getting there.
I came here and I was like, nice, people are actually talking to each other during a meal.
That's so fascinating. I thought, okay, so I guess you meant that Koreans are more interacting to each other more than Singaporeans.
Maybe not. Maybe it's just during mealtime because
Yeah,
I mean
yeah.
I'm only here for a week. This is my first time in
Yeah.
Korea. I'm just
But
saying
fresh eyes,
like
though.
what
Yeah.
I see like immediately. But yeah, that's what I noticed. Like, but I actually prefer it during mealtime to like talk to
Yeah, me
people a
too.
lot.
I mean, we're French.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Like, if I'm alone, sure, I'll be on my phone or whatnot. But it's refreshing. I'm like, oh yeah, everyone's just having. I can't understand anything, but it's lively. It's great. It's nigiyaka,
I mean, I'll
Yeah.
complexify that a little bit because having lived there for a bit longer, I would say that in general, actually, Koreans, unless it's a group outing and stuff and everyone's talking, but if it's just kind of a regular meal, I found that like people kind of eat fairly quietly, and then when you go to a cafe is when you talk.
Oh,
Maybe.
that's
You
amazing
see what I
point.
mean?
That's a perfect point. We
Oh,
get
yeah.
super chatty when we go to the
Because
cafes
it's part of the
after
deal.
dinner.
That's what I
Yeah,
told you. It's like
You
you
need
go
a cup
eat
of
and then you do
coffee.
cafe.
Yeah, it's a
You need a cup
ritual.
of tea.
Yeah, it's a
and
Because
then
you don't have desserts in restaurants.
No.
Is what we were talking
No.
about
That's
like this week.
yeah, it's that there's no dessert
No,
at the
no,
restaurant,
no.
which I'm like, what?
Is that strange to you?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
strange
because
to
we're
me.
French, so it's part of the.
This is such a funny perspective. Oh my god.
Yeah, she was looking at the menu, and I'm like, now, if you want dessert, you have to go to a cafe. Unless you go to a Western restaurant in Korea, because then sometimes they will have like tiramisu, usually tiramisu,
yeah, true.
or other stuff. But in general, if you want something sweet for dessert, you need to go to a cafe.
But this is what makes me understand suddenly the cafe culture. Because I came here, I'm like, there's so many cafes.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? And then now that, like you had mentioned, it's like, oh yeah, there's no desserts in restaurants. I'm like, oh, I get it. Yeah,
I would also. It's probably not the first reason though. Like, like I don't think dessert culture is something in Korea the way it is in France at all. I think cafe culture. It's part of it. I was like, oh, let's get something sweet like after like the meal, but it's more of a like, let's go somewhere and get a coffee and chat, rather than we need to eat dessert, because they don't have like, for us it's like since childhood, like you eat, you do cheese and then you do like dessert. Like we got an order for stuff.
It's so true.
But here I feel like, and it's also like people go to cafe no matter when, and a lot of people go for studying, for dates.
Yeah.
A lot of people go solo
Anything.
studying as well.
Anything.
But it's just like the idea of like you go after a meal. It like, I know we haven't done it yet, I think, but in general, if I'm hanging out with my friend and we go eat at a restaurant, the next stop is obviously gonna be cafe.
Yeah.
Actually, I really enjoy it though. I really like the cafe vibe here. I'm a big fan.
I brought her to my favorite cafe.
Oh yeah.
The one that I call my second home, and the owner knows because when she got me my birthday card, because I got a birthday gift from her, she wrote, like, I hope you make nice, happy memories again in the future at your second home. Therefore,
so sweet.
I've been there 73 times.
You counted that?
Yeah, because I started using my calendar a little bit before I started going there, and every time I would go there, I'd usually like to study or to meet with friends. So like I would put it on my calendar so I can count.
That's amazing.
And it's fun because like she knows my name, she knows what I like. She mentioned to me that like because I always order milk tea, that when she makes milk tea, she thinks about me sometimes.
Aww. A
When
regular.
but when I left, like,
That's
it was
so
so
sweet.
sad because like we hugged, she started crying. I started crying because I had no idea if I was gonna be able to come back or not.
But you're back.
And I'm back.
But you are back. She must have been really happy.
Yeah,
to see you back.
she was really sweet. She was like, like there's that word in Korean for like when you have connection with people. Not Zhong. Like, was it Inyeon?
2년.
So she was like, you're the person who made me think about Inyeon.
Aww.
That's lovely.
That's
It
so
is,
lovely.
it is. So that's why, and then, like, I feel so comfortable there.
Mm.
So that's why I've been trying to bring all my friends, because it's kind of far to get there, especially from our grandpas. But I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's so good. It's so good.
I mean, it definitely means a lot to you.
I mean, absolutely, and that's why I was like, and I went after my birthday party as well, and I brought my friends, and then we blew like another cake, and she put a little candle on it, and it's just kind of like, it's so fun, and I update her on what I do, and yeah, she's met so many of my friends.
I'm only here for a week, and she's seen me.
She's
so.
seen Linda.
Oh,
Linda
yeah,
was
yeah.
here like last month. She's seen Linda. I've brought so many people to there for, because I'm like, you don't understand. I know it's far, but like once you go there, just trust the vision. Like,
Okay.
why would you not trust me? I always recommend good stuff.
Okay, we went on a tangent about
Persona.
cafe
Okay.
culture.
Persona.
But yeah, persona. I really want to ask both of you about
Yeah.
like languages and each of the personas.
I don't think my personality changes that much between English and French.
Really?
Actually. Yeah.
Well, I don't understand French, but I can feel that you a bit more. Oh, what's the word?
I might be more expressive.
Expressive in
English.
French, and
In French.
yeah.
I mean, I probably use stronger words in French.
Yeah, I don't understand it, but I could definitely sense that. Oh yeah, that's a swearing word.
But
Sometimes
I do swear.
yeah.
I do swear in French. No, but I feel more comfortable in English just because I have more of a range of vocabulary. That's why I feel like English is this is like kind of where my voice is at as well. Like, for example, if I speak Chinese, it's gonna go voice change.
It's real. It's real.
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
Like my voice octave will switch depending on the language. But yeah, I don't think it changes that much. And because I don't use Chinese so much, it's a bit difficult to kind of like figure out. I'm mostly, when I speak Chinese, I'm just struggling not to mess up. So I don't know if that's a personality. But yeah, I would say, because I intertwine French and English so much, it isn't truly that different anymore.
Yeah.
So both of you, it's really hard to speak only English and only French.
No, only English is fine.
Yeah, only English
But
is
only
fine.
French is hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
harder.
pretty nice.
So let's say if somebody asked you to write an essay fully in French.
I could do it.
I
would
could,
like
but I don't want to. Like,
I don't like
fuck
it.
no.
I'd much rather write an essay in
Even
English.
a paragraph, like the owner of Hoyan, for like, because he's writing a second book already, the cafe in Busan that I will go back to for Christmas. He was like, oh, you came as a guest, and now you're writing, you're holding the mic for the party. Can you write in French? How it's making you feel, and it was a small, 5 or 6 lines paragraph, and I was like, oh my god.
It will be shorter, but as well, writing in French, it depends on how you're writing something. But I feel like my tone in written English is much closer to my spoken English. Written French will be very different from my spoken French, because there's also verb tenses that you use more in written compared to in your speech. And it's just so much more mental gymnastics trying not to make writing
Spelling
errors.
mistakes.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's difficult.
Or conjugaison. Oh.
Yeah. That's you literally took the literature path, but you're still not.
I know. Yeah.
It's just harder.
Okay.
Objectively, it's more difficult.
Interesting. Well, I just wanted to add, even though I don't understand French, but I always loved when you speak French. It sounds so lovely when you speak
really?
French. I really
No, but
love
the
it.
deal with foreigners in French, it's
But
hilarious.
especially Astrid's French. Especially Astrid's French.
You can't see my face, but I'm surprised Pikachu face. I'm like,
Really?
I don't get it.
Well,
I really
again,
don't
in a
understand.
complete foreigner view, your French sounds so lovely. Because,
You say you speak French, and people are like, oh my god, it's so romantic, baguette.
but especially Astrid's.
Oui, oui, baguette.
Oh.
Croissant pain au chocolat.
No, but I agree though. You have a really nice, I don't know, you have a voice that's nice to listen to, and you sound very steady in French and in English, but it's just kind of so it's really nice, a nice smooth to listen to.
It's smooth.
It's
Yeah.
smooth.
I mean,
Yes,
I've known about almost 10 French people in Japan, and among them, yes, I do admit that French sounds really lovely to most of countries who doesn't know French, but
I don't get it.
I was able to distinguish that Astrid French sounds so lovely.
That's, I mean,
Personally.
thanks. I don't know why.
I don't know why, but you're from... I just wanted to ask.
Paris, la Tour Eiffel. I do this sometimes, like,
Do you?
unironically, when someone's like, oh my god, you speak French? I'm like, oui, baguette.
It's so
I really
cute.
lean into the stereotype because I can. I'm French.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Okay. So, Robert, what about you, Jean? What's your persona for...
For most of the languages that I'm interested in, I don't think I have one because I don't have the level. I think if you unlock a persona once you get to a certain level. I do think, because like, I think my English voice is already pretty, like this. Mais genre, quand je parle en français, j'ai l'impression que ma voix est encore plus basse. Like, when I speak in English, in French, sorry, like, I feel like my voice...
goes down.
Yeah, it goes down a bit more.
It gets more sexy.
Thank you.
Yeah, it really does.
But it's kind of like, I feel like it's a slightly below English in terms of like, and I'm gonna be like a bit more, not confrontational. I mean, it's also, it could be because I speak in French with my mother and I cannot speak with my mother without being sarcastic. Which arguably same with English because I speak in English with Arno and we cannot address each other without being sarcastic.
I feel like that's true. Well, now my sarcasm comes out in English as well, but the OG sarcasm language feels like French.
It is very sassy.
We are.
We were very sassy. But no, I feel like I do feel like I have a Korean persona. Also because, like, your positionality, oh my god, my anthropology classes are jumping out. Positionality as a foreigner. And also because, like, we have, because, you live in contrast, kind of. Yeah. Because, like, in French, we have, like, degrees of politeness that English doesn't have. So, for instance, when I started learning Korean, the teacher was like, oh, I know that sounds weird. And I'm like, no, it fucking makes sense. You don't talk to your teacher and say you. When I learned English, and I learned that you had to say that, I was like, I'm sorry, what? You have to say you to your teacher? Yeah. That is insane. I've made my peace with that, obviously. I'm on first name basis.
It's like like, how you, like, respect that person.
Well, we've got, like, it's just
in
kind
French
of, like...
we have, like, a...
levels.
Yeah, like,
there's
informal and informal.
Yeah.
There's only two?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like that's also why it comes into with Korean, because for Korean, for me, for instance, with some of my friends, if we're close in age and we don't use 반말, I'm like, are we not friends? Because if you spoke formally to a friend in French, you'd be like, what the fuck?
So is it extremely rude to say you to a professor in France?
You're not going to say tu to your professor.
It's also you, but it's like the formal tone. So it's between like tu, which is like what we call friends or whatever, but to... sometimes some people still refer to their grandparents with this tone as well, though it's more rare. But to professors, to people much older than you in the company, you'll say vous. And then so you will use the verb tense. Vous also means you plural in French. But it's also the formal tone for you, like you singular.
It's kind of like German, which doesn't help you. Sorry.
No, like Spanish also has like usted, right? But it's like
I was in German, girl. I never took a Spanish class.
But a lot
bring
of
a German person here.
Your next guest.
I'll bring my next guest.
But I feel a few European languages have like just two levels of tone, kind of.
Interesting.
But I'm curious about Korean. How many levels of formality?
Technically, there's like a 7.
7?
I think.
Is that?
Yeah, but like not that you use. Not that you use.
Oh.
How many do you use?
3. 3, 4, 3.5.
Do.
There's like 반말 when you use it with your friends. There's the regular like yo.
Yeah.
And then I feel like you can kind of alternate between two kind of more formal level. There's like low formal and high formal, which is very difficult for me because you don't practice formal stuff.
It's also difficult for me.
What context would you use it in?
The interview for the volunteer festival position.
Interviews,
which, yeah. Or
pretty
like
much everywhere except your friends.
Really?
I would say.
Okay.
Even when
maybe
you're like
your parent.
polite with parents. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty common because when you do like written Korean as well, like you're supposed to in topic, for instance, you're supposed to use. You wouldn't use like 있습니다, which is the highest one. You'd use like 있다. Which I learned recently, and our teacher was like, "Did you guys not notice?" And we were like, no. And she's like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay, now you know.
Never mind.
I think I would say even for native Korean speakers, saying it in 존댓말,
like really formal.
or something like that, it's kind of a struggle still.
Wow.
So
Especially in the
imagine for
workplace.
foreigners.
Especially in the workplace.
You add a lot of syllables.
It's
to
not
stuff.
about the syllables. It's about like the conjugaison is different, kind of
Right.
like with vous. But it's also like sometimes the verb changes because you're gonna say like
Oh, you don't use the same verb.
because like for instance if you're asking it's like regular you'd say 있어요, but if you are asking like a professor what it was like 계세요, are you staying there? It's a
いらっしゃいますか? と言いますか? その差が
Right.
So-
Okay.
so-
That's similar to
Yeah, it's very
Japanese,
similar.
indeed. Okay.
which is why Japanese students are great at Korean.
And that's why Hyunsu is great at Japanese, because vice
Vice
versa.
versa.
I got a great credit. But, like, okay. And I also been wondering, if you have, like, let's say there's an imaginary child from your
I remember us
guys.
talking about this in the car last
Yeah,
night.
yeah. I wanted to talk about it with Astrid. So, I know Jean's answer, but, like, if you had
Okay.
a child,
Okay.
would you let your kid go to international school?
As
and
compared
be,
to...
Yeah, and be bilingual and be fluent in a lot of languages.
So as compared to local school.
Yeah, something like that.
Where do you think you'd be living?
Okay. I'm of the opinion the best is a local school with an international section.
Is that common though? Because
That's a good question.
It sounds like a very difficult case.
It's, might
in
not
Korea, at
be
least.
that common.
Even
Uh,
in France, I think it's
even
like
in-
ours is good, but
That's
it's,
the ideal scenario. Because, so, this might be a bit stereotypical, but sometimes international schools are kind of snobbish. And it's kind of, it's definitely a more like privileged
Right.
kind of group of people. Because a lot of people who go to international schools, they might be expats. They might not be as well, but you're surrounded by people who have a
Snobs.
certain, certain lived experience.
Okay.
And it can be snobbish, things you don't know. Like, I'm not 100% sure, but...
I mean, we had it even in the Anglophone section. Like, the Anglophone section had a reputation for being for, like, preppy kids and rich kids.
And
we
it-
did
I
have...
can't imagine.
There were a
Because we
few.
paid, like, the
Yeah.
Anglophone section was paid.
Because
okay.
international schools are much more expensive than local schools. So the class, of people will be different, likely, from your local school. And it's basically, it's kind of like a bubble. I think it's good, your child will receive a great education, very diverse international education, but then there might be a problem of integration into your local environment. If your kid goes to international school, and chances are they won't really interact with their local environment as much compared to if they went to a more local school. So I'm of the opinion, like, a mix, something in between is best. Like, if you can go to a school where you learn the local language wherever you are, and then as well your family's language or languages, best case scenario. Otherwise, it might feel a bit detached. That's just kind of my impression, what I've seen of some international schools. But the thing is, international school does have a lot of options, really good education system. It's something that's very reliable. That's why there's international schools everywhere.
But do you think it's worth the money? Like, because it depends,
Question.
like, which international school that your kids are gonna go. But in Korea, if you want your kids to go to international school, it means
So much money.
huge money. Like,
Yeah,
huge
a lot.
money.
It's so
Yeah.
competitive.
Yeah.
Oh, is it competitive to get in
Everything
as well?
is competitive in Korea.
Everything's
Astrid.
competitive.
Like,
Just-
everything.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
volunteering is competitive. So,
So I
so
heard.
you can, like, no, but, like, seriously, if
So
that
I heard.
is where we're at, can you imagine the
Yeah.
amount of money and dedication that is required?
Yeah.
Like, the whole, like, Korean school system and also, like, the pressure on, like,
that's true.
like, manager moms is a thing.
We can have a separate episode about this. Honestly, really.
But it's actually something I forgot to consider, actually, in my previous opinion just now. But indeed, some countries have, if you go to local schools, local education system, sometimes that pressure can be immense, especially in certain parts of Asia, where, as we mentioned, it's very, very competitive. I don't know if I don't want my kid to grow up associating their value, their self-worth with academic success. Because
big
topic.
Word, big topic.
Big topic. Because I experienced it a bit, I would say, and it took me a while to like get out of it because my family was very like strict on academics. Not that I think it's a bad thing, but when you have so much pressure, I feel like it can be so depressing, especially now with society. Let's just say as it is, people like go out less and touch grass less, and everyone's just on their screens, and that just sounds so depressing. If you're spending your whole like 18 or more like years, like your whole education, like life where you're studying, just like doing that all the time, I mean, you're missing out on like your hobbies, like even constructing your own dreams. Social skills.
And being able to say your opinion.
Yeah, critical thinking sometimes just goes out the window because you're just like, you're learning, like, you're being educated a very certain way, and that's the only way, and voila. And there you have it. So that's definitely, it would depend on the country I'm in then. Okay. I changed my answer. It depends.
Interesting. Okay. And Jean, I know your answer, but can you please? I know it's a big question.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know, like, because we've mentioned when we were talking, but I don't think I want to have a kid with someone who's French.
Even
I didn't know that far.
Okay, we've talked about it.
Can we start with that? Can we start with that?
No.
Because that's a very interesting...
So I think that probably the common language between the two parents will be English. If not, it's gonna have to be Korean because I don't have any other language I'm fluent enough anyway. But
there's
it's
still time.
Gonna be
There's still time.
I can still roll my Chinese.
China
coming. Love. Yeah. No, but I think my parents were not strict with academics. If anything, it was the other way around. I was like, Mom, I got an A. Mom, I got this grade. Mom, I got this. Like I was super annoying with academics. My mom was like, stop checking your grade 30 times per day.
That's what she said?
Yeah, she was like, "Stop looking at your grades."
Whoa!
It's the complete opposite.
It's the complete opposite. Like but they were very relaxed because they knew that I was grade obsessed already, but without the pressure. Anyway, like they didn't give me any pressure, and I was like, "Look what I did." So they didn't have any issues with that.
Oh, okay.
But I also agree. Also, especially having studied Korean society and stuff, like the current system is like. I remember when I learned in one of my first classes about Korean society, and they were like, yeah, like the amount of homework you have to do, the pressure that is related to it, the amount of time you have to dedicate to it. And I was like, you did homework if you want to. Like, school ends, and then school, like, I'm talking primary school shit.
Okay.
Like,
I was gonna be like, actually.
No, like, in high school it's a bit different, but I feel like in Korea as well, like, the pressure started very early on, and even in middle school, and I'm like, if you don't do your homework, it's bad, but it's like, it's not the end of the world, but it's kind of like,
it's not
you will get punishment.
You don't drag, I mean, you do your homework when you're at home, but it doesn't feel like you're dragging school with you for the rest of your day once school ends, or for me at least, because Astrid's making a face. But
I did primary school in China. So very, very different. I was struggling already in primary school, so I left in 5th grade. So I was like 10, going on 11. I was already struggling in class in Chinese.
All right. Well,
and then I moved to France. So much easier. Like, different level
well, let me
of
tell you,
easy.
French primary school was not something like you go, you finish your stuff, and then you just go watch cartoons. Like,
dream life.
Like, and I'm
Dream
like,
life.
that's
nice, right?
Dream life.
That's what I want for my kid. Like, I want them, because also, like, I know I'm very, like, learning and great. Well, not grades, I've realized that, it's, okay, I'm not going to go into that. But, it's just, like, I feel like if I would want them to do well in school, but also it's kind of like, I know that it's not because they're my kid that they're going to be like me. And I, like, if they want to be really into academics, great. But also, as Astrid was saying, like, I don't want them to feel like they depend on their grades because they can be so much more than that. And also it's just, like, I feel like this school is getting really bad in terms of, like, going to talk about AI, but like if you look at the way that like children are learning as well, it's just I feel like there's a lot about life that obviously you learn outside of school, but it's just like school it's
one part of life. It shouldn't be the whole.
It's not. It's one part of life, and I'm like, if you don't want to be in school, you can have other options. So international school, I don't know. I feel like local school would be nice. Because also I'm like from the Capricorn perspective of like, okay, pragmatic, like, okay, how much money are we talking? But in an ideal world where like my future rich husband has found me and he's like, we can send our kids wherever we want. I'll be like, okay. I do want them to be able to experience the international environment that I got, because like also as we mentioned, like I'm not from like a particularly multicultural like background. Like I didn't have any connection to the Anglophone world except the fact that I was into it. But being able to have friends from a lot of different countries, and now, you know, like that was when I was in high school. Now I've got friends. Were you the one who asked me like last week of like how many countries like do you have a friend in?
Yeah. It was me.
She kept going.
Yeah, it was me. Like it went endless.
No, the list is not that long. But
like Kenya, like so many countries I couldn't even think about.
Yeah,
exactly.
but I mean, like that's. I feel like you learn so much by interacting with people, by talking to people, and I want them to be in environments where like they'll have time to make those friendships, and to like I talk with like 2 or 3 people from middle school. If they are listening to that, hello, hello. But in like most of my high school friends, we still talk, and I feel like I'm gonna like unfortunately for you, you're stuck with me. Oh, tragedy. Arno, this works for you too if you're listening to this. But yeah, like I kind of want that for them.
That's
like
true.
I feel like if they're not into school, I don't want to force them to be into school, but I do feel like an international environment might provide like opportunities to open your mind in your own time, because you'll be doing it basically by hanging out with friends and stuff.
Best way.
But
Best
yeah,
way to do
and it for languages, like I think, I don't know, like because I'm 99.9% sure I'm not gonna end up with a French person.
Who knows?
So,
Maybe a French person who's as French as you.
Yeah, like,
is...
I mean, we were talking about this last time,
French.
like, international French, perhaps. Yeah. But I feel like it's very likely that, like, it might arise as a possibility that, like, oh, am I going to teach my kid French or not?
That's true. Oh, it's so difficult to teach a kid French as well.
You wouldn't?
I mean...
Because for me, it's not even a question. I will, because it's my kid.
I would
it literally came out of my body.
Yeah.
And I want to communicate with them.
And as well, a kid will literally absorb any language you throw at them.
That is true.
Don't stop. Because that's actually one of the reasons, so in my household, we spoke a lot of different languages, but like my mom didn't speak Bahasa so much, Indonesian, at home, because she told us later on, she's like, she was scared there was like too many languages in the house, and that it would like our toddler brains would not be able to handle it. But it's not true. I don't believe that's the case, because with my brother, she spoke a bit more Indonesian, and my brother is much better in Indonesian. He's made a bit more effort, but he's had much less difficulty understanding it, and in his pronunciation as well. So for sure, if I ever have kids, it doesn't matter if they don't learn the language at school, to just expose them to it. Watch like French media, watch.
For me, it's not about whether they can learn it or not, because I know like when you're a kid, you can absorb a lot. But it's just like the amount of family members that I have is very, very small. And most of the other people that I consider like close friends or loved ones speak English.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like I would probably expose them to it, but it's just kind of like, eventually, once my parents are gone, like, I don't have people that they would need only French to speak with.
Let's go at this with a logical lens. Statistically, French is quite spoken in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to learn that, like, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, like, I feel like because I don't think I would have the skills to teach them it, like, properly. But I feel like if they could take it in school, but I mean, French is so difficult. Every time somebody's like, oh, I want to learn French, I'm like, don't.
The same reaction. I'm just like, no, honestly, don't do that to yourself.
It's like, I feel like it would be really beneficial for them to learn it, like, early on, but it's just kind of like, I feel like if the language didn't stick with them, I wouldn't force them for it, because I'm like... You're like, once your grandparents are gone, basically everybody else that I'm surrounded with that you could communicate with, who would be like your, unofficial auntie and uncles, you can communicate in English. So for me, that's why it's kind of like French I would love for them to speak it as well, also because then they can learn the sarcasm and the bitchiness of it all. But I feel like if that's not a language that really sticks with them, because I don't speak that much French unless I'm talking to someone who's French. So I'm also thinking about what's the kind of like likelihood of me like actively kind of talking with them in French on a daily basis. Also, we're out of time in 10 minutes, I think.
Okay.
What? Already.
So we have like 8 minutes, but still,
It's
like,
crazy.
Did you finish what you wanted to say?
Yes, I am done.
Okay. Okay. So because we are about to end the episodes, so before that, I just wanted to ask, like, the ending comment of today's episode for each of you, what you felt, and just the closing comment.
I'm just super happy to be here. This is like so exciting, I think, because as well, we talk a lot like with each other. And this is genuinely what you hear on this podcast is actually conversations we have all the time.
Like
constantly.
it's
Professional yappers, all of us.
Absolutely.
But
it really is the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, this is barely scratching the surface of everything. But it's so interesting, and this is why I love having this conversation with people from around the world. Like, having international friends is so, like, enlightening in so many ways. It's
fun.
very fun.
Simply very fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think, I hope whoever's listening to this basically kind of gets a grasp into what it's like to, like, be a bit more international and to have these conversations and how interesting these conversations can be. Voila.
Amazing.
Professional.
Closing fairy.
Closing fairy.
What about you?
Okay. What about lovely John?
I feel like we should be doing a series because
I know.
I don't live here.
I know.
Apparently, there's like a remote podcast recording, like
oh my gosh.
something.
No, because
Amazing.
like as Astrid was saying, this is literally like the three of us. What we talk about, and me in general, with like I think you as well with the rest of your friends, is just. And I feel like nowadays it is so important to talk with people, to talk about the world around you, to talk about what's frustrating you.
Stop looking at your phone, guys.
Yeah, it's kind of
Talk
like
to people.
because it's like it will help you lift off the burden because things can feel so overwhelming recently about like on so many different levels.
Yeah, 100%.
Also, it's just like it's quality time. You're sitting down with people and you're talking and you're exchanging ideas and you might change people by saying one little thing and you don't even realize it. So it's kind of like you're giving pieces of yourself through conversation to the people around you. And I feel like that's really a big act of love. Not to say that if you're not a yapper, like you're not showing love. Like if anything, a lot of my friends are listeners. But those conversations we're having, because we're talking about the world around us. And I'm not going to mention it, but like AI is such a big problem, and I feel like the technology disconnect that we're having between people as well is so bad. And we were talking about this in class today, because we're talking about feminism, and I'm like, I feel like the practice of quiet feminism, where you're talking with your friend, you're educating yourself and stuff, I'm like, that's so important, because I feel like you can, so many different little things that you wouldn't think of are little rebellious acts against capitalism and neoliberalism, and I think this is one of them. Look.
Yeah.
Okay, I am like shoulders deep in this shit with all of my schoolwork, so like I cannot not mention it. Like, but it's just to wrap it up, I think we should do a series.
I'm super down.
I'm super down. Honestly.
Also, it was fun to just actually be in a studio.
You could definitely remotely
uh,
record it.
Yes.
So that part was fun. I feel like it's very nice to do an actual recording. I hope everybody gets to have those conversations with their friends. That maybe this episode will encourage them to be like, hey, I wonder what this friend is thinking about that topic. Because I feel like when you share with people, this is not a short comment, I'm sorry. But like when you share with people, you learn about yourself as much as you learn about others. And it really helps you shape yourself. And, it really enriches your world. So, like, even if you don't want to be the one talking, find your people. Talk about things.
You gotta stay curious.
Yeah.
And not even like, I'm not asking you to go to people who are randomly completely against like what you think, because that's not the point. I'm talking about find your people that you vibe with. Because also when you're having those discussions and you're starting on kind of a similar starting point in terms of values and mindsets, conversation just flows.
Yes.
As you've just heard for the past hour or something. That was very long. I hope you all enjoyed. And may you have amazing conversations. And now to our host.
Can you also say goodbye to French listeners?
Au revoir.
À plus, à la prochaine.
That sounded so tame. It's like, bon, à la prochaine, tout le
Yeah,
monde.
yeah.
Okay,
please.
I just wanted to end this podcast saying I just felt so lucky to be friends with Astrid and lovely Jean.
We're the lucky ones.
Yeah, I just felt
Yes.
so lucky that I'm a friend with this lovely girls. I just feel so lucky. So yeah, so it's been an amazing episode, and this really should be a series.
For the history books.
Yeah, history books. Truly. So yeah, this is
The end.
the end.
The
And
end.
thanks again. For
And the
listening.
end for now.
For now.
Wait for part 2.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. See you. Outro. It's our little outro.
God, there's so many people.
So many people outside.